what was your process in doing first the king of kindergarten, now the queen of kindergarten?
I just left a school visit, and I was telling them that, while I was struggling to try to make it, the King was like my 11th book, but the book that broke me.
Wait, y'all, pause. Say that again, Derrick Barnes, the King of Kindergarten.
King of Kindergarten was my 11th book, but the book that broke my career was my 9th book. Actually, it was Crown and Ode to the Fresh Cut, and I've been struggling. I'm telling you, struggling. My first book came out in 2003, and I had a small amount of success with a scholastic series called Ruby and the Booker Boys, but nothing, where I could, announce myself as a children's book author. We were out in public. But in 2016, I wrote a book called Crown and Ode to the Fresh Cut, and it won every major children's book award, and that just changed everything. But before I wrote Crown, like maybe 2 weeks before I wrote Crown, one of my sons, I have 4 boys. My second eldest boy, Solo came into my office, which was completely naked at the time because I couldn't afford any desk or books or anything. And he saw me working on a book, and I was trying to write to the gatekeepers, And he said, "Daddy, you know what you should do?" He was eating an apple. I never forget this. He's 17 now. He said, "You should write the blackest book ever, the blackest book ever." And I was like, he's right. I'm writing to these gatekeepers, but I had to remind myself of who I was actually writing for. I'm writing for these babies because everything that you just said, body of work, like I don't care if you're creating a film, are you doing music, are you write literature, you need to create something that's gonna never cease to exist on this planet. I care about my body of work so much, and I guess I forgot about that. And Solo helped me, to remember that. And I wrote Crown. It's about how Black boys feel when they get out of their barber's chair. And again, that book changed my life. And I committed myself that for the rest of my career, as long as I write, I'm going to make sure that I center the lives of Black children so the world can know how beautiful they are, how magnificent they are, how brilliant they are. I want every Black child to see themselves as a protagonist and star of the show. So yeah, I am. And hopefully I can do it for a little bit longer.
I hope so too. Derrick Barnes is in Houston signing books at a Black-owned, woman-owned bookstore in the 3rd Ward of Houston called Kindred Stories. I just saw that one of the owners. Hey, for you raising 4 boys in America,
yeah,
talk about how you approach every day and what your thoughts are in terms of how you navigate the space that we're in right now for those 4 boys.
So I feel like it's my wife's job to worry about them because she is the warrior, and she is the warrior of our tribe. But I feel like my job is, and my boys will tell you right now, living with me is like living with like a motivational speaker. I feel like I am preparing these boys to be fathers and to be husbands, and I have to build a armor around them. They're gonna have to go out into the world and be a phrase that we use all the time. We have to be difference makers. So I have to give them the information that they need when they go into these different spaces, but I also want them to dominate these spaces. So talking to these boys, it's about giving them just a welling of confidence and letting them know that they can accomplish and achieve every single thing, but again, making them aware of all these different spaces that they're going to be in. Because I have 2 college students. I have a boy headed to college in like a year or so, and we have a 10-year-old. And I don't really worry about too much of what's going on right now, because I'm thinking about we are trying to put good people out into the world, and good people that are willing to fight for these issues that Black people have been fighting for seemingly since we've been on this continent. And I want them to see themselves as superheroes in a sense, no matter what they end up being. I have a kid that's going to school to be an orthopedic surgeon That's Ezra. He's a senior at North Carolina A&T, and Solo is going to school in July. He's going to Fayetteville State, and Silas is the cover boy of Crown, Ode to Fresh Cut. He's going to Xavier this summer. So yeah, we got a whole HBCU
I
lineage
was
going
looking,
here.
and you went to Jackson. So
Jackson State
Jackson State.
University. Met my wife
So
there. Yep.
so why none of them are going to Jackson? You got prime time at Jackson State, just
Prime is there.
wrecking stuff. Y'all,
Yeah.
you and your wife met at Jackson State. How come none of your young men are following you there?
They all got money to go to these other schools, you know. A Prime didn't come after Solo, so you know the people at Fayetteville State offered him a full ride, and that's where he'll be going this fall. So I'm proud of those cats. We came to, like I said, Charlotte like 8 years ago, and I already had this mapped out that they were going to HBCUs. There's a lot of schools in North Carolina, and it's coming to fruition. So the plan is working.
What's going to happen when people realize that not only do you get just as good of education at an HBCU, but you also get a sense of self that you won't get anyplace else, that will empower you in this world to have your son come up to you and say, Daddy, write the blackest book you can write. And then that becomes a wild bestseller, wins all of the awards, the Coretta Scott King Award, the Kirkus Award, the Ezra Jack Keats Book Award, all of that. Being true to yourself. So you came out of Jackson with a marketing degree. Yes. What was it that you thought you were going to do with that?
Well,
Derrick?
Quite honestly, I wanted to be an A&R rep at a record label. I was a huge fan of he calls himself Diddy now, but I was a big fan of Puff because he went to Howard and he would take the train back to New York and work for, Andre Harrell at Uptown Records. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be Puff Daddy. I wanted to do that. So I was like, he went to HBCU. I got to go to HBCU. So I went to Jackson State, and I got internship offers to work at Capitol and to work at LaFace, but they were not offering a stipend or anything, and my mama didn't have any money to send me, so I didn't get a chance to do that. But I wanted to be in the music industry.
Wow. Yeah. So a funny thing happened because you were talking about some lean time. So how did you get into writing books?
I wrote for the Blue and White Flash at Jackson State. I was a advice columnist. My nickname on the campus was Hershey Brown. The brothers call me HB because you don't call another grown man Hershey. And so the title of the column was Brown Sugar, and it was an advice column. It was like Dear Abby meets Billy D. Williams. I don't know if your audience is old enough to remember who Billy D. Williams. They should know.
Well, they know Lando. They know him from Star Wars.
Yeah. So we won for best HBCU newspaper in '96, and I collected all of those articles, and I applied for a job at Hallmark Cards. And in '99, I became the first Black man to be hired as a greeting card copywriter for Hallmark Cards. And everyone at Hallmark had representation. They had an agent, whether they were a painter or they were a poet. And I landed my agent, a young lady named Regina Brooks. She's based in Brooklyn, Serendipity Lit. And I've been with her since 2003. The rest is history.
Now, when did you know you could make a living doing this?
Shit, after Crown Blue. I've been at it forever. And I'm telling you, my wife held it down. I've been with her again. We just celebrated 21 years of marriage, been together for 26 years. And I was just saying earlier, to the ladies, that I was really down on myself for all those years when I was trying to make it in this business. But now that I look back at it, my wife was busy grinding and doing her thing in the hospital, and I was available for my sons. I was able to go up to the school. I was able to, supplement their, education. I was there for their, activities. I worked, if you name it and it was legal, I did it while I was trying to make it, man. And I was there for my sons, So, when I made it, and that's about 2018 when I was able to actually say I eat off of
Wow.
these books. You know, so it's like 15 years, long time,
I was gonna
no
say
overnight
you ain't
success, man.
4 years has been so and I often say, people do look at things like, oh, this is overnight success, but like oak trees don't grow overnight, and there's work that gets put into that little acorn rooting and then sprouting and then
Yeah,
growing, and then so much could happen along the way, but you had the support of your family, your wife, you got to be there for your sons, and now the success. How's your life changed now? I mean, I already know from a publishing standpoint the fact that you were able to do King, and now the Queen of Kindergarten, which is
yes.
out, the Queen of Kindergarten, like, and you probably got other books that are teed up because that's how those book deals work, right? So they give
No
you a
doubt.
multiple book deal. So
Yes.
you're not just you eating well,
Yeah,
Derrick
yeah,
Barnes.
yes. Since 2018, I was just saying I think I've signed like 15 book deals. I have books coming out for the next 6 years.
Come
Um,
on.
yeah, but you see, it's a New York Times bestseller over my shoulder. I Am Every Good Thing. It came out in 2020. And I wrote that book. It was a poem I wrote after seeing that H&M ad about the little boy, the coolest monkey in the jungle. So I wrote that poem in response to that. And that was my second New York Times bestseller. Came out 2020. I have a book coming out with Dr. Tommy Smith on September 27th. It's called Victory Stand. It's a graphic novel. It's my first graphic novel. I have an animation deal signed with a streaming platform that I can't name right now. So there's a lot of beautiful things on the way.
Oh, you see
Yeah,
my teeth? You see
I
my
see
teeth? I'm
him.
like,
I love it.
I no,
Karen,
this
Karen Hunter's cheesing, man. I love that.
yeah, no, because
You're doing all right.
some days we get up and there are obstacles for everybody. As I say, it rains on everybody. Um,
Mhm.
but when you're very clear about what your purpose is on this earth, when it finally cracks, there's no stopping. And so I'm looking forward to all of this. So tell us about Queen of Kindergarten. The Queen of Kindergarten, I got to look through it. The artwork is beautiful. It's a lot of melanated beauty in the
Yeah,
book, but it follows a little girl.
yeah.
Tell us about the inspiration, because you don't have any girls
I
from
don't
what
have
I'm
any girls. When we were on tour, the amazing illustrator of both of these books, Vanessa Brantley Newton, is like a big sister for me. We met. She did the Ruby and the Booker Boys series, so this is our sixth book, and she's a Jersey girl. Nessa, I'm crazy about her. I wish she was on tour with me. Like I said, we went on tour, but Black mothers is the reason why this book was made. You know, Black mothers would come up to me during the tour and like, when are you gonna make a book for our baby? You made a book for the little brothers. What's up? What's up with a book for the queen? So um, I had to do it. I had to do it. I love y'all, man. I love y'all to life, Black women, period. I wouldn't be where I am today without my mother, without my aunts, without the Black women in the neighborhood. I just love y'all. And this is just uh, my salute to all those babies that are starting school, to all the mothers of those babies who never had the opportunity to see books with characters that look like them. I think that all of our babies deserve to go into a bookstore and see a character that looks like them on the cover. I mean, as soon as you walk in the store, you need to be able to see a character that has a similar story to yours. So this book is not only for them, but like I said, it's for every single Black woman that I've ever loved and cared for. I start off the book with a quote from Marion Ellen Wright. So yeah, salute,
children.
salute to
Mary,
y'all.
Marion
Right,
Edelman.
yeah, Mary
Yep.
Ellen Wright, yes. Mhm.
Marion Wright Edelman. She
Yes.
she said children must have at least one person who believes in them. It could be a counselor, a teacher, a preacher, a friend. It could be you. You never know when a little love, a little support will plant a small seed of hope. Yeah, that's beautiful.